Why do some ministries work and others fall apart? What keeps a ministry going when everything seems to be set against it? After much prayer and Bible study, I have concluded effective leadership is the key. We all have heroes, great leaders, and Gene Kranz, leader of NASA's Mission Control, is mine. I've read books about the Apollo 13 mission. I've watched Apollo 13 more times than I can count. And each time, it has had a huge impact on my spiritual life. Not only in reminding me of the effort going on in heaven to bring me home, but also in giving me a picture of what successful ministry should look like, and showing me in Technicolor and surround sound what it is a true leader does. Through a series of clips and quotes, I'd like to share with you 3 lessons I've learned about how to be an effective ministry leader from Apollo 13. Apollo 13, if you cannot tell, is my favorite movie. It tells the true story of 3 astronauts trapped on board a damaged spacecraft between Earth and the Moon, and the people at Mission Control that worked to bring them home. 5 days after the astronauts left Earth, the spacecraft that they were in suffered an explosion, which meant that the astronauts began to lose oxygen, power, and their main engines. Armed only with ingenuity, courage, and slide rule calculators, the team at Mission Control, led by Gene Kranz and the astronauts themselves, managed to bring the crew safely home. So leadership lesson number 1 is my responsibility as a leader. To always be aware that suddenly and unexpectedly you may find yourself in a role where your performance has ultimate consequences was part of Kranz's mission statement. Now, when you're dealing with people in space, there aren't a whole lot of second chances. They blow up, they die, that's kind of the end of it. What would happen if we were just as serious about our role in soul winning as they were about bringing this spacecraft home? How would that impact what we said to others? We pick up the story of the Apollo 13 crew shortly after the explosion which destroyed the service module, which housed the fuel cells, the engines, and the oxygen for the command module, which is named the Odyssey. Jim Lovell, the commander of the mission, has just reported that the ship is leaking oxygen out into space. Now I want you to view what happens when this announcement is received by Mission Control.
Roger, Odyssey, we copy your venting.
Give me an alarm.
Okay, let's everybody think
into a 4 levels check. Okay, now let's start right back on the beginning.
looks abnormal on your system.
Out of Madrid, 4 hours.
Yeah, we'll work with the causes to fuel cell number 2.
Okay, listen up. Quiet down, people. Quiet down. Quiet down. Let's stay cool, people. Procedures, I need another computer up in the RTCC. I want everybody to alert your support teams. Wake up anybody you need, get them in here. Let's work the problem, people. Let's not make things worse by guessing. Okay, people, listen up. Just I want you all to forget the flight plan. From this moment on, we are improvising a new mission.
Sorry, we'll get somebody to look at that. Gotta get a bulb around here.
How do we get our people home? They are here. We turn them around, straight back, direct abort.
No, sir. We get them on a free return trajectory. It's the option with the fewest question marks for safety.
I agree with Jerry. Use the moon's gravity, slingshot them around.
No, the LEM will not support 3 guys for that amount of time.
It barely holds
I mean,
two.
we have got to do a direct abort. We do an about face, we bring the guys right home right now.
Get them back soon, absolutely.
We don't even know if the Odyssey's engine's even working, and if there's been serious damage to this spacecraft.
They blow up and they die.
That is not the argument. We're talking about time, not whether or not these guys...
Come on, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you.
Hey, hold it. Let's hold it down. Let's hold it down, people. The only engine we've got with enough power for a direct abort is the SPS on the service module. What Lovell has told us, it could have been damaged in an explosion, so let's consider that engine dead. We light that thing up, could blow the whole works. It's just too risky. We're not going to take that chance. In fact, the only thing the command module is good for is re-entry, so that leaves us with the LEM, which means free return trajectory.
The scene at Mission Control looks like it could be played out in any ministry. Chaos reigns supreme. Krantz doesn't have the answers. But as a leader, he knows it's his responsibility to organize his team. He turns deadly chaos into organized progress. He reminds his team of what to do in an emergency. Use the computers, coordinate with the support teams, and work the problem. Guessing has ultimate consequences. Taking the time to find the solutions is much safer. Then, when the team has time to sort out the problem, Grant spends time listening to all the arguments coming in before coming to a decision based on the best chance of meeting the objective. In this case, bringing home the crew. Your congregation is going to rely on you to lead them in the way they should go. When there's a decision to be made, they're going to look to you for advice. What we do as ministers of the gospel carries weight. We can guess at the solutions to our problems, or we can work the problem out with Jesus and arrive at a solution which will bring the people home to Him. As leaders, we need to listen to our teams and then make decisions to act based not on whether we were right or wrong in the initial discussion, but based on the best outcome to bring others to the Lord. The first step towards building a successful ministry is for the leader to take responsibility for the team. Leadership lesson number 2, giving success to the team. One of the reasons Krantz thought the Apollo 13 mission was successful in bringing the crew home was because we have had everyone believing that they were personally responsible for the success of the mission. And once you get to that point, boy, you're dynamite. You get answers coming in for questions you haven't even asked yet. And it's true. The more people feel invested, the more determined they are to succeed. By now, the Apollo 13 crew is having serious problems with their carbon dioxide levels. The crew has moved from the command module to the lunar module and is using the LEM's life support system. There are 3 astronauts, and the LEM, or the lunar module, has only enough air for 2 guys for a day and a half. It's not designed to do this. The command module CO2 filters are square, and the ones for the LEM are round. So now they have to figure out how to put the square peg in a round hole. Let's see what happens. Lights.
Okay, people, listen up. People upstairs handed us this one, and we gotta come through. We gotta find a way to make this fit into the hole for this, using nothing but that. Let's get it organized.
Okay, let's build a filter.
Better get some coffee going, too, someone.
In an interview, Gene Krantz lays out how to accomplish this sense of responsibility for success. He says a leader has to build a team. He has to train his people thoroughly so they have the confidence to do their job. And then the leader has to let the team do their job, trusting in their abilities. This is the same formula that Jesus used. He trained the disciples as a team, teaching them how to pray and how to heal people, and giving them the authority. And then he sends them out to work. observed in Luke 9 and 10 if you need a scriptural reference for that. As leaders of the church, it is our duty to train those entrusted to our care in the art of soul winning. We need to help them fulfill their roles in ministry by careful guidance. But then, we need to give them the confidence to do their job by stepping back and letting them do it. If the first step towards building a successful ministry was for the leader to take responsibility for the team, the second step is for the team to have a personal stake in the success of the ministry. A leader helps a team gain confidence by training them and then trusting their judgment. Leadership lesson number 3. The leader sets the tone.
Now, in the meantime, we're gonna have a frozen command module up there. In a couple days, we're gonna have to power it up using nothing but the re-entry batteries.
Never been tried before.
Hell, we've never even simulated it before, Gene.
Well, we're gonna have to figure it out. I want people in our simulators working re-entry scenarios. I want you guys to find every engineer who designed every switch, every circuit, every transistor, and every light bulb that's up there. Then I want you to talk to the guy in the assembly line who actually built the thing. Find out how to squeeze every amp out of both of these goddamn machines. I want this mark all the way back to Earth with time to spare. We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not gonna lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
Gene Kranz once said, "You don't go out on a mission and say, hey, we expect to fail. Your job as a leader and as a team is to find solutions." This is exactly what he did here. He set the tone and the goal for the team, which may change from project to project. In this case, he rallied his team to think beyond their limitations and focus on the goal of getting the astronauts home. He was later asked if he ever doubted that the mission would end well. And he said, "No, never." And that was true for the entire team. We were so focused on the objective. His confidence set the tone for the rest of the group. If we doubt the success of our ministry, we need to go to God with it. Because if the team is left with our doubts, then they're going to doubt. And if we give them confidence, then they're going to have confidence. As evangelists, we know the war is won. Satan has been defeated. This is our confidence, and this is the tone we need to carry into our ministries. We need to clearly define the goals for our teams and the tones for the project. The third step towards building a successful ministry is that it is the leader's responsibility to set a tone of determined confidence when the team is facing difficulty and uncertainty. As leaders, we need to have confidence in God's sovereignty and ability, confidence in the team, confidence in the knowledge that the victory has already been won. Doubt is not an option. Despite seemingly insurmountable odds, the crew of the Odyssey returned home safe and sound. It has become one of the finest hours of NASA's history. By working together, Gene Kranz and his team became a unified body of people working towards a common goal. We have learned 3 useful steps to prepare our ministries for success. 1, that I am responsible as a leader. 2, that success belongs to the team. And 3, that as a leader, I set the tone for the success of the team. In conclusion, I leave you with one final thought. I don't believe that the end times are going to be the worst disaster that Christianity has ever faced. I believe it is going to be one of our finest hours because we will be a team prepared to do the final work.
All right. Thank you.